The Mathseyes Curiosity Poster Campaign was an initiative that formed part of a collaborative project led by Institute of Technology Tallaght called Looking at Tallaght Through Mathseyes. The initiative aimed to increase the confidence of the community in Tallaght in the mathematics that they use or are faced with every day. The posters were put up in lampposts around the Tallaght area to pique the curiosity of the community until their meaning was uncovered by the local newspaper. Let's look at the posters in more detail. The first poster, how big is a billion? The word billion is now commonly used in the newspaper and on the radio and TV. But how much is a billion? In the maths world, a billion is 1,000 million, written as 1 with 9 zeros. Most of us cannot imagine how big this number is. The real world can help. Think about time. It takes just under 17 minutes for 1,000 seconds to pass. It takes 12 days for 1,000,000 seconds to pass. However, it takes nearly 32 years for 1,000,000,000 seconds to pass. A billion is a really big number. The second poster is Tallaght and D, 2 plus 2 times 11. Can you work it out? When you calculated 2 plus 2 times 11, did you get the answer 44 or 24? Your answer will depend on whether you added 2 plus 2 first and then multiplied it by 11, or whether you actually multiplied 2 by 11 and added 2. The correct answer is that Tallaght is in Dublin 24. When you're doing calculations like this, you need to be really careful that you remember the maths world rule: multiplication and division before addition and subtraction. Tallaght Square is the main shopping centre in the centre of Tallaght village. Its centrepiece is a large glass pyramid. Locally, the shopping centre is called Tallaght Square. However, the shopping centre is not built on a square-shaped site, nor is the building in the shape of a square. But the shopping centre is made of a number of very obvious square shapes. If you go shopping at the centre, look at the shape of the windows, the tiles on the floor, the mesh on the car park windows. There is definitely a square theme to Tallaght Square. If you're a supporter of GAA or rugby, you probably keep track of the scores during a match and work out the number of goals and points in GAA, or tries, conversions, penalties or drop goals in rugby. In this way you know who's winning and what the final scores are. To work out the score, you have to allocate the right number of points to goals, to the tries or to the conversions, add them together and work out the total score. In the maths world, this kind of calculation is called linear algebra. Players do similar calculations when they work out tactics during a game. Many GAA games have been won in the final seconds when a player has opted to go for a goal rather than take an easier point, to make sure the points from the goal means his team will be ahead. Just think, how did Ronan O'Gara know to attempt a drop goal in the dying minutes of the Grand Slam decider in 2009? How often have you seen the statement, people you may know, on your Facebook page? Sometimes you know the people listed, while at other times you've never heard of them. But how is it that a social networking site can make up a list of people that you may know in the real world? The answer to this lies in mathematics. Facebook uses the maths world to connect you with the people in the real world. It uses the mathematics of probability to create this list. By looking at friends of friends, Facebook is able to identify patterns. From these patterns, Facebook can compile a list of people you may know. Ever wonder how many times your heart must beat in your lifetime? The rate of our heartbeats depends on how old we are, or how fit we are, and what we are doing. The number of heartbeats in a lifetime also depends on how long a person lives for, and whether they are male or female. The maths world can help us to estimate the number of times a heart beats in a lifetime for an average person. However, to do our estimate, we have to make some assumptions. So we'll assume an average person that their heart beats about 70 times a minute, Now, sometimes this will be faster, sometimes it could be slower, depending on whether you're doing exercise or sleeping. But our assumption is that it beats about 70 times in a minute. Our second assumption is that the average person lives for, say, 75 years. Based on these assumptions, the average heart beats nearly 3 billion times in a lifetime. 70 beats per minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day, 365 days in a year for 75 years. The heart is an excellent example of enduring, reliable body technology. A number of the posters developed were to help people to think about how they can conserve water. In the real world, many homes have a tap that drips a little bit of water. The tap is never fixed because it's only a little drip. However, the maths world reveals that a tiny drip adds up to a whole lot of water. Each tiny drip wastes a staggering 10,000 litres of water in a year. We drink about 2 litres of water a day, so it would take about 14 years for one person to drink this much water. And that's only one leaking tap in one house. So if we're to do our bit for water conservation, fix the drip. Tallaght Stadium is the home of Shamrock Rovers. This is an artist's impression of what Tallaght Stadium would look like after plugging all the exits and any leaks for complete water tightness and filling the stadium with water to the height of the surround wall. The stadium would hold about 62,000 cubic metres of water. That's about enough water to fill 25 Olympic-sized swimming pools. Believe it or not, this huge volume of water would not be quite enough to keep Tallaght homes in water, even for one day. Tallaght uses 70,000 cubic metres of water every day, enough water to fill 28 Olympic-sized swimming pools. You ever think about how much water you use when you take a shower? Did you know that a power shower uses more than 3.5 times the water used in a standard shower? If you take a 5-minute shower in a standard shower, you use about 35 litres of water. The same time in a power shower uses 125 litres of water. You can do your bit for water conservation. When you shower, reduce the power. Every household uses water for different activities every day, for drinking, cleaning, flushing the toilet, cooking and washing. If we look at the water we use on a pie chart, where the biggest slice of the pie indicates more water used, we can see that the blue section and the red section, washing and cleaning, use much more water than, say, for example, flushing the toilet or cooking. The yellow slice shows the amount of water that we drink, and this really is only a tiny part of the water that we use. The 10 curiosity posters highlighted were designed particularly for Tallaght. If you are planning a similar curiosity campaign, good practice would suggest that the posters are designed to be relevant to the context and the community within which they'll be used. Why not try our short quiz to see, have you got your maths eyes?